What have these past 2 months felt like, and are you at peace with your decision?
Well, I am at peace with my decision. Look, when I ran this last term, I said that saw myself as a transition president.
Yeah.
But what happened was we having so much success in getting things done that people thought we couldn't get done.
Right.
I found myself having used more time than I would have ordinarily to pass that torch.
Well, new reporting indicates that Joe Biden might say publicly that he's totally fine with how things played out after his decision to drop out of the presidential race and basically pass the torch to Kamala Harris. However, according to sources close to Biden, he's not feeling so great in private. Okay, he's not enjoying the fact that everyone seems to have forgotten about him. Now, NBC News spoke to 12 people with knowledge of this dynamic between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, including administration officials, campaign officials, and transition team allies. And while his allies made it abundantly clear that Biden is rooting for Kamala Harris and he wants nothing more than for her to win in November, he's a little bit bitter. So let's get into it. Biden has privately complained to allies that his name and his accomplishments have virtually disappeared from the national conversation, and about how quickly the party that he has served for more than 5 decades appears to have moved on from him, according to 6 people familiar with his comments. Further, Biden has noted at times, this is, oh God, so cringe. He should not voice these opinions ever. Don't voice them to anyone. You're in politics. Like, you can tell your administration officials and your closest allies, and they will leak it. They will leak it. So don't say it. This is not good. Biden has noted at times that Vice President Kamala Harris, who took his place at the top of the Democratic ticket in July, hasn't been mentioning him in her campaign speeches lately, including when she talks about an economy he believes his policies set on a positive trajectory, these people said. Okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked by whether or not he set the economy at a positive trajectory, but I am going to talk about why this is a really bad idea. Look, Kamala Harris is already very uncomfortable in public appearances and speeches. Okay, we got to call a spade a spade. It's just true. I wish it wasn't true, but it's true. Okay, she seems so nervous and uncomfortable and out of her element when she's in interviews. I mean, even when she was being interviewed by Oprah Winfrey. It should be the most comfortable environment ever. Oprah's there to help you, but she struggles a little bit, right? And so a story like this about what Biden is saying behind the scenes and how he's so upset that like people aren't talking about him enough, it's gonna get in her head potentially. And it could trip her up even more in public. So like, what are you doing? So according to NBC News, Harris didn't mention Biden's name once during her 40-minute Pittsburgh campaign speech about the economy last week. So what? Dude, you're the current president of the United States. So what? But no, it bothered him. So she now more regularly just says we when referring to the work that the administration has done. Take a look.
Over the past 3.5 years, we have taken major steps forward to recover from the public health and economic crisis we inherited. Inflation has dropped faster here than the rest of the developed world. Unemployment is near record low levels. We have created almost 740,000 manufacturing jobs, including 650 at the battery manufacturing plant over in Turtle Creek.
So according to these sources, Biden was even hurt during Harris's debate with Trump a few weeks ago. You're an 81-year-old man who's currently the president of the United States. Like, it's insane to hear about how hurt he is. But apparently he was hurt that during the debate with Donald Trump a few weeks ago, Harris stated that she wasn't Joe Biden. Well, she isn't Joe Biden, and that was actually a pretty good line considering the fact that Donald Trump was up there on that debate stage debating as if he was debating Joe Biden. So I had no problem with what she had to say. I thought it was a good moment. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, Harris said at the time, adding, and I am certainly not Donald Trump, And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for the country. She made the remark in response to Trump's contention that she is Biden, as he tried to make the case that Harris's and the president's economic policies are no different. So like, you get why she said it. I mean, everyone understood why she said, I'm not Biden. It's like, hey, you're running against me. So if you've got a problem, go ahead and tell me what your problem is with me. Like, why are you campaigning against Biden still? And this is a comment that Harris has continued to make, by the way, on the campaign trail as she ramps up her media appearances. And during her first solo television interview with WPVI TV in Philadelphia, when asked to describe one or two areas where she's different from Joe Biden, here's what she said. Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden, and I offer a new generation of leadership, Harris said, adding that things once taken for granted cannot be overlooked anymore. So again, just want to reiterate, like, I get that Biden's airing these grievances privately, but he's airing his grievances to like people who work for him in the White House. And obviously that runs the risk of them leaking it. They did leak it. And now this is out there. And I don't think it's really helpful. It makes Biden look pathetic, honestly. And it could potentially get into Kamala Harris's head and trip her up during her public appearances, speeches, and interviews. And according to some people with knowledge of Biden's private comments, who should not be talking to the press about this, he understands politically why she's saying these things, but he's still frustrated. She has to say, I'm not him. She can't say, I'm not the president, because people will say she's not ready to do this. He gets that. It still doesn't sting any less. And that's from a Kamala Harris advisor. Now, another person familiar with Harris's strategy stated, she loves the president. She adores the president. She's proud of the record that they have. But I think the difficult part for a lot of people is that this will be the Harris administration. It won't be Biden part 2. Indeed, and that should be fine. She is a completely different person. She should feel free and comfortable to run her campaign as she pleases. She should run her campaign to win. And Biden should be helping her with that. Not talking about how hurt or bitter he is that Kamala isn't constantly talking about him as she's campaigning for herself. Unbelievable story.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.